something new off of eBay I just got. It's got a name on it. Litake, I guess, is the name of it. It's a multi-process 4-in-1 welder. Does MIG, flux core, TIG, and stick. It's got a MIG gun on it. The MIG gun is 8.5 feet long. The ground cable and the electrode holder for the stick welding. Those are 5.5 foot long. They're pretty short, but I paid $129 shipped on this, so pretty cheap. Everything plugs into the two front ports here. And then this wire here is for the when you're using the wire feed unit for either MIG or flux core. And the ones on eBay have a sticker on the front of them, and it says positive and negative. But for some reason, the one I got didn't have the sticker on it. But luckily, I had some of these twist lock connectors they use, and I had one that was red, so I went ahead and put that on there. So it's got the same wire feed unit like Harbor Freight uses and some of the other cheap welders. This one I got over here uses the same one, that MIG 130. It comes with one spool for a drive roller, and it's 1 millimeter on one side and 0.8 on the other. So I wanted to do some other wire sizes, so I stole this one off of there because it'll do. I did 30 thousandths and 023 with it. On 023, I welded some sheet metal with it, and I could actually run a bead on it, kind of like spotting next to each other without stopping. So I could get it low enough. This is an older car fender, so it's a little heavier gauge than the new car stuff. So, but this is the only welder that I have. I have three other ones, wire feed welders, and none of them will weld sheet metal. Anyway, it's not bad. The gun's takes a little bit to get used to because it's price built, for low price. So it doesn't have the valve, shut-off valve for the gas is not internal. It uses a switch here in the grip, mechanical switch. And the bad thing is the wire feed micro switch makes first before the gas valve does. So, and you have to hold the trigger pretty hard to get both. So you can press it like right here. You press it there, and the wire will start feeding, but you have to press more to get the gas. But other than that, it's not bad. It takes regular consumables, This is the same gun that this one has over there. You can see it. And then this old Daytona MIG I actually changed to one of those guns on this one because I like those guns. So power-wise, it seems to do okay. I just welded this with 035 wire, and then I V'd it out, and then it's 1/4 inch hot rolled, and then I took it over and bent it in the hydraulic press, and it didn't break or nothing. So some of the other welds I did. This is the 1 millimeter flux core that came with the machine. It came with 1 millimeter, and almost no splatter at all. It's really good wire. This is some Lincoln wire I had. It has a little more splatter. It's 30 thousandths. It's still welded pretty good. Be quiet, Pep. And then this is just some welds, 35 thousandths and 30. And then I did some TIG welding with it. And I'm like way out of practice. I only weld once every 2 or 3 months anymore. So anyway, some TIG welding. I did some stick welding. This is some 1/2-inch plate I stick welded. 70/18, I couldn't believe it, 1/8 inch. I couldn't believe it would actually run 70/18 1/8 inch. I did some 60/13 and it was in 3/32. But it got some penetration. You can see it gets penetration. Those two holes were burnt in with that 70/18 rod in just a second or two holding it there. This is 3 millimeter thick angle, but it burnt right through those, so it gets some penetration. Not as much as maybe you'd like to see, but you can see that's a tight joint, but it's still penetrated. This one here I was running pretty fast. This one here I slowed down and made a little bigger bead. But that's pretty good. And then the thing that I was surprised, I messed with it and I finally got it. Some aluminum welded on DC positive, and I had to preheat it. That's 1/8 inch aluminum, and using 4043 rod too. It fed through the gun. So not a bad little welder. Weighs about 18 pounds. It's like I don't know, 17 inches long, 13 inches tall, and 9 inches wide, something like that. It's got a selector for the different things it does. For the stick, with CO2, mixed gas, then flux core, and then lift TIG. And the knobs are variable, so this is volts, this is amps or wire feed. And then, like I said, both the clamps plug in here. I mean, those are your outlets for power. Let me show you the spec sheet on the back. So you can pause that if you want to look at it. There's a power switch and the hose where you connect your gas. I'm actually pretty happy with it. I bought it. It's a multi-voltage, so it'll do what, 120 or 240 input. And I bought it to try to use on my generator, because I don't have anything that'll run on my generator. So I wanted to try that. And I just welded this one. That's on 120 volts, and I have it plugged in to that wall outlet over there. So, and that's a 20 amp. That's a 20 amp service. So that's short of a weld. It didn't trip the breaker. So I don't know what else to tell you. Oh, it does come with it came with one of these. This one here, 2 pounds. It came with 2 pounds of this wire, and it's 1 millimeter, not 9. So it actually measures, I think, like 0.39 or something like that. So it's a little bigger. But this wire, usually the wire you get's really crappy. Well, this wire welds really good. It welds better than any of the stuff I have. Anyway, I'll probably be doing more videos on it as time goes along. Pretty cool. 129 bucks. Couldn't believe it. And like I said, it's a really good MIG welder. So if you're thinking about buying the flux core titanium from Harbor Freight, that 140 titanium flux core, then I think this is a better machine because it's got plenty of power, and then you have the versatility. You can use whatever you got. You can use flux core or shielding gas or stick weld or whatever. It doesn't come with a TIG torch. I ordered one. The cheapest one I found on eBay was $24 shipped. It comes from China, so it'll be here next week. Also, too, I wanted to mention that some of my welding on the aluminum, especially this one and this here, that was TIG welding. I was having a really hard time, but or this is MIG. This is MIG. I was having a really hard time TIG welding, and I think it was because the tungsten I only had one piece of 1/8 inch tungsten. When you're doing DC positive, you got to have real heavy tungsten, and I was having trouble with the tungsten burning off, 1/8 inch even. So I think that was because it's probably not thoriated. It's probably one of the other ones. But I managed to get it stuck together, so it will weld. TIG weld 1/8 inch aluminum. I was thinking about trying helium too, but to me it's not really worth it because a tank that size of helium will cost you $100 plus the tank, and then rental fee is either $30 or to buy one is about $150, I think, or $200, depending on who you buy it from. So to me it wasn't really worth paying $100. I was thinking about trying to use some party time helium, but they started in 2015, they started adding 20% air to their helium, so it wouldn't be very good. So, not a bad deal. Got any questions, just ask in the comments. See ya.